This is where I grew up catching smallmouth, and it's where I'm gonna do it when I retire. You know, fishing a jerkbait is something that I grew up doing. You know, it's a great clear water technique, but it's also good in a lot of other situations. And that's what I think a lot of anglers haven't understood until now, that it's an all-season lure. You know, it's been a busy season on the tournament trail for me, so I haven't had time to get out in the water in the prime spring of the year. You know, Strike King asked me to film this show on this new series of jerkbaits, so I came up to Northern Michigan. It's really past the prime time. I'm in the end of June. The fish are done spawning. They're thinking about moving to their summer areas, and they're just scattered, you know, and a jerkbait is still a great bait because you can cover a ton of water. So, you know, it's early summer up here in Michigan. The smallmouth are really kind of in that post-spawn period. They're not deep yet. There's still some, still hanging up there. There's still a few mayflies hatching. They're kind of just getting ready for that summer period. It's a fun time of the year. The fish can be really scattered out. So we're looking to have a great day here today. You know, the water's clear, the sun's bright, there's a little bit of wind. It's a perfect conditions to get fish that are up on flats to react to a jerkbait. Not a big one, but it's a start. This time of year when it's, everything warms up and the fish are done spawning and they're not moved out deep yet, you gotta just cover a ton of water. And one of the best ways to do that for me, to catch, smallmouth, largemouth, spots, anything, is a jerkbait, because it's so efficient. And they're moody during this, post-spawn early summer period. Not a big one, but you can just always find them. I'm super excited about these new baits right here. There's some on this flat, so you can always fish something slower if you need to, but you can't catch them until you find them. And that's, again, so often that jerkbait is kind of my go-to for that reason, just because it just allows me, it's just a giant flat, and I can just fan cast around. When they're so scattered like this, they're doing a lot of different things. You can catch one or two on a spinnerbait, but when they get in this funky mood, there's just something about that erratic action of that jerkbait that is just a go-to. I've learned too many times over the years that it's a powerful tool. I started coming here when I was 7 years old. My dad took me up here and I caught my first smallmouth with him, and I have never been the same person since. That first one was just a 10-incher, but it made such an impression on me, the way that it bit, the way that it fought, everything about it, and I've been coming back ever since. So Northern Michigan to me is just one of those things that it's really special. It's something that I hold close to my heart, and I just have a ton of great memories up here. It's where I always want to go back to. feels like a good one there. Yep. That's a good one. Gosh. Nice. When they get the face full of those KVD trebles, you gotta be a little bit careful. And you can see, I mean, how that one bit it. He's got a little bit of all of it. We'll just take our time. You can see, I mean, normally these fish are big and fat, and it's just that time of year, you know, the water temperature's almost 80 degrees. Grab him by a belly like that. That's a pretty one there. That's why you throw those hooks right there. You know, for years, I've been, you know, experimenting with different hooks and things like that. And I learned a long time ago, especially these big smallmouth and that, they have so much leverage when you can hook them on a jerkbait that you need a really strong hook. Those Mustad number 4s, they got a real wide gap to them, and they just lock them on. So, and you just can't straighten one out, even with like a 5-pounder. But that is look at that right there. That's why that Pro Shizzle is very similar to the same color as that bait. Just let that guy go. See, buddy. That's why I love this series is, you know, they come standard. They're kind of exclusive colors that I made for really a lot of different situations, for largemouth, smallmouth, for different seasons, for different forages. This one right here is the Pro Shizzle, and it is, gosh, it's just a real natural color. Almost has a little bit of a rainbow trout look to it. It's got a little bit of a smelt look to it. It's got a little bit of bluegill look to it. It's just real natural, and in real clear water like this, it's, you know, it's a good color. That's what we thought of in the whole series, and all of them come standard with those Mustad trebles, just the way I like to fish them. He brick walled it, man. Switched up to that perch color, and you just never go wrong with perch up here in Michigan. They eat perch and gobies in all these lakes as their primary. They eat a lot of crawfish and stuff too. He's got it locked in his jaw there. They just don't give up. You know, so not only is the bait critical, but man, having the right equipment. I mean, and that's why we came out with first in my KVD series jerkbait rod, and now we've got these new Signature series rods. It's really the same action. The one thing that's nice about this Signature series rod is it's got the wind grips on it though, and those wind grips, they're really comfortable. But the rods are built to the same action, and there we go, buddy. You can always grab them by the belly like that, and they'll just kind of, but I mean, look at that. He's just pretty. It's post-spawn, skinny, getting ready for summer. They'll bulk up quick. You know, the first thing that happens up here is the mayfly hatch after the spawn, and then those fish will move out deep, and you know, mayflies really give them a good boost. Let him go. And then after that, man, they move out deep, and there's pods of emerald shiners and definitely a lot of perch. A lot of these lakes have gobies in them. Anything connected to Lake Michigan now does, but that is just, that golden perch color right there is just, man, it's a fantastic one. But this system really works. You know, you don't want too long of a butt. That's key, so it's not hitting you here in the stomach. And this is a 610. It's got a really fast tip to it, with a lot of backbone, and that's what you gotta have, especially for this kind of fishing. You gotta make that bait really jump, even on a really long cast. And having that rod being a little bit stiffer like that, it's got that fast tip to it with a ton of backbone, really gives that bait that super erratic side-to-side action. And that's how you trigger bass with a jerkbait, plain and simple. You know, fishing for smallmouth and natural lakes, it's all about fishing transitions. You know, either a break, a depth change, a cover change, you know, grass clumps, you know, where sand meets gravel, bottom composition changes, things like that. That's what they really relate to. So starting out, you know, I wanted to fish a little bit of everything and see exactly where they're at. That sun pops out and makes everything magic. That's a good one. Way out there. That's one of the things you have to do is make a really long cast. You know, when you're fishing this clear water, and this rod, even though it's 6'10", it'll throw it long ways, golly. And I'm throwing it with, you know, 14-pound line, 14 fluoro. And I've just got my signature KVD reel and a 7.5-to-1 gear ratio. You know, the gear ratio is, a lot of people like to throw super high-speed reels. I like a fast reel, but I mean, that basically allows me to go at any pace, but I'm never moving this bait. Gosh, I had him. Those trebles are just incredible. I'm never moving the bait. Number one thing with a jerkbait is you never move it towards the boat with your reel, ever. It's always working it with the rod. That reel's just picking up slack line, and that's why for me, let's see, buddy, that's why for me that 7.5-to-1 is perfect, you know. This reel throws like a dream, even into the wind. Man, it's just a great setup for me. I've just perfected this system that, you know, for me, for the way I like to fish over the years, and it just really, something that I have a ton of confidence in. He's got the siren locked in his face though. One thing that I like to do in real clear water is you throw them, you know, you show them something super natural or you show something super loud. So that's why we created this siren color. I mean, it's such a good color for us in a caffeine shad and even a half shell, or, you know, sometimes in drop shot baits, but good little guy there. But you know, that color right there, it's got that blue glimmer sheen over it. It's super good for real clear water like this. It's also another really good color for stained water. So if, you know, if I'm trying to fish a jerkbait in really water that's too dirty, this is a go-to color, you know, too. It has a lot of flash, it's just bright. Just getting them to see it is critical. So this is something, you know, in a situation like this, I can pull them up or pull them from a really long ways, but in dirty water, they can also find it. Boy, he got some air. That was a long cast too. Whew. Some good ones. This time of year, man, it's just, they're so scattered. And really making that bait jump. You can see how far I cast there. I mean, I literally was 50-yard cast. And you know, to be able to get that bait to respond like that, you really got to snap it. He pounded it. Just a subtle little bottom transition change there. Light colored, just up on the sand. We just don't give up. Gotcha. Love those hooks, man. That one got hit by a cormorant or something. Another pretty one. You know, all lures are just tools, but I can tell you that a jerkbait is one of those tools that I have a ton of confidence in, and confidence is absolutely critical. If you don't feel good about what you're throwing, you're probably not gonna catch many bass with it. There's a good one there. Oh yeah. Come on. Jeez. You know, they always got a lot in them. My favorite thing in the whole world, man, is to do this right here. I grew up doing this with my dad. He took me when I was 7 and I caught my first one then, and I've been coming up here to Northern Michigan ever since, and I like all times of the year, but I love catching them with a jerkbait. It's something about when you're snapping that along and you hit that brick wall, and that's all it is, man. It's just like hitting a rock. I'm really snapping that bait. Let him go. Got him. There was a wolf pack there, and the 2 of them chased it down. You'll see that a lot this time of year when these fish get post-spawn. They will group up and they'll start hunting in packs like that. So it's a good solid one. I mean, you can see they're long and lean, water's warm, metabolism's high, and a lot of times just like this, you got to make them react. You know, it's a good time for a jerkbait, good time for a top water. That way you can fish fast and cover water. See you, buddy. Good. There's 2 there too. What a nice one. They're just getting, the sunnier it gets, the more they like to move up shallow like this. And he's not a giant or anything like that, but they're up there just hunting. Looks like perch. Perfect. Now don't get me wrong, I like to catch bass anywhere, anyway, anyhow. In largemouth, smallmouth spots, they're all good, but without a doubt, man, I love smallmouth fishing. This clear water, these big, you know, smallmouth that have big shoulders on them, it's special. All these lakes are different. You know, we got the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan, where they eat a lot of gobies. They get real deep, they get big, they get fat, and they just are bulldogs. But there's a lot of these shallow lakes like this where, you know, you can fish power baits, you can burn a spinner bait, you can throw a topwater, you can fish a jerk bait, and they're just real aggressive. So that's what I grew up doing. I like fishing fast and covering water, so that's why I chose to come here today. Gosh. He ran out there and, not a big one, hammered it, man. That's why you got to snap it with a pause like that. When they get clear conditions, you get bright skies like this, these smallmouth a lot of times can even get better. You know, they're definitely sight feeders, and but you really got to make that bait jump. Little guy. Got him. I feel like a good one. Oh yeah. All I'm fishing is just trying to run. There's these depressions in these flats out here, and these fish they get into those depressions in this post-spawn time of the year. That's a good one there. Oh gosh. Come on, baby. Yeah, that's a good one. You can definitely tell they just look so much different this time of year. Nice. Good one. With a jerkbait, the more you can keep it in the strike zone, the better off you're gonna be. So I'm just, you know, fishing it, like I say, just where I'm trying to throw it down to the centers of these troughs, and these fish, they're in there hunting perch and crawfish, gobies, whatever it is. And I mean, he definitely, you can see he's thinned. But in a month or so, they'll get out deep, and you know, they'll really start feeding up. They'll put that bulk back on, and it's amazing. So it's a tough time of year for them, and that's why they're so scattered right now. It's because they're really searching to hunt food. You know, the baits, the big balls of bait and stuff aren't out in that deep water yet. That's why they love to hunt these flats and having you know, today the natural color seems to really pay off. You know, perch are always a primary forage here, you know, up in Northern Michigan, so you can never go wrong with that. I threw the siren a little bit. You can mix it up with some different colors, but if you can match the hatch, you're gonna be successful day in, day out in these Clearwater smallmouth. Got it. They're just everywhere out here. Another good one. Almost back to back right there. Another nice one. Come here, buddy. Every time, boy. Solid ones. That never gets old right there. Got it. Got it. I saw that one just swimming along. Right up by the top. Looking for mayflies or something. I mean, he was just underneath. I just happened to catch him. And I pitched that jerkbait over to him and he just pounded it, man. That was awesome. That was awesome right there. Good one. Gosh, long and lean. These new jerkbaits, these new colors, they're just real next level. And the main thing is they come with those must-add KVD triple grip standard right from the factory. I don't have to change them out anymore. And they're really unique colors to match, you know, the forage just about everywhere, or something really unique and different. So I think you'll really like them. Check them out. You can see the brand new Elite Series jerkbaits from Strike King.